Hello everyone, old and new. In today's video we are going to go through some basics of footwork as always, along with some guard transitions with footwork, and then we are going to go over the Meyers Square drill, and then I will take you through a step-by-step of each cut I'm going to do for my final sword routine, which is focused on transitioning footwork, keeping your guard up, and parries, which I will go over in detail later in the video. Without further ado, please enjoy. First up, I went ahead and front-loaded the video with everything important. So here is me just working through some footwork while keeping a guard up. And now I am giving an example of the Meyers Square. This is actually when I was warming up. You can see this footage a little bit later as well. But essentially, it is just how do you transition from one cut to another in a smooth fashion. And then we are working on Meyers Square while holding Longpoint. And finally, here is an example of a little bit of a footwork drill that I came up with. If you notice, the sword is almost always pointed, and then it nicely loops in on itself so you can do it on both sides mirrored. Later I will go over step by step how to do this, and I will break down each cut. Alright, as always, we are doing our footwork first. I like to do about 3 to 5 minutes of footwork as a warm-up. Just really trying to focus on my form and also getting my blood pumping a bit. I was with my friend and illustrious cameraman for this, so I had his help filming a lot of this, and pretty much all of these pieces of footage are just used as example, and then I walked him through it and we drilled it for a while on our own. But about 3 to 5 minutes of footwork a day before practice, I would say is ideal. And now we are going to add in the sword into our footwork drill. Here I just focused on holding different guards and changing them as I was working on my footwork. It is important that your feet move in tandem with the sword. You also want to focus on not being too stiff and making sure you're somewhat relaxed while still doing it correctly. The more relaxed you are, the more you are able to react to situations that come toward you. Now a bit more footwork here. This one in particular I was giving as an example to my friend because he was having a hard time with the ox guard in particular. So I wanted to work on some steps with him, and I was just like, well, we might as well film this as well. So basically here I am just focusing on having my hand placement in the right spots while holding ox and being able to transition to it from side to side smoothly as I do my advancing steps. That's pretty much it. Alright, and now for the Meyers Square. For those who do not know what the Meyers Square is, the main points of it are to focus on transitioning from one cut to another in a smooth fashion and being able to then return to another cutting motion quickly. The fun thing about this drill is that you can do it in place or while moving, and you can also mix and match cuts however you like. So just enjoy watching me warm up here, and then we're going to work on doing this while moving. And then I went ahead and I actually animated a little Meyers Square at the end, so you can go ahead and follow along and sort of learn the steps from that. There is one thing that I do find that helps learning the Meyers Square, for me at least, which was breaking it down into 2 rounds. So the first 1 through 4 and the second 1 through 4 of the Meyers Square are 1 round, and then the second half is round 2, mirrored on itself. I don't know if that'll help anyone or if that makes sense. Probably doesn't if you are not familiar with the Meyers Square, but like I said, I animated a little Meyers Square, so you'll see that pop up in a minute, and you can follow along with that to help yourself understand the drill. Just know that the drill starts on your right side. All right, hopefully you found that informative. Now, the real application of the Meyers Square is we're going to work on it in Longpoint. And you can see what that looks like here. This was one of the last things my instructor showed me before our lesson ended, and I'm very much looking forward to practicing this some more because I feel like it's kind of rough. Fortunately, with my friend with me, I was able to have him hold out his sword, and I sort of worked with the drill around that, and actually found it was quite effective. Alright, now we get into this final drill, which I will call the Plough Offensive. It's a little thing I made up, and it starts in Plough. So here it is in its full glory, and now we're going to break it down step by step. First thing to do is you're going to start in Plough. I started on the right side, and then we're going to do a single thrust right there. And we're just going to drill this over and over until we're nice and comfortable with it. We're going to do both sides as this drill mirrors itself. So again, we're going to start in Plough, and then we're just going to do a simple step forward and thrust. For the next step, we're going to start in Longpoint, and we're going to do a parry into an ascending cut, and making sure we do that passing step again. So again, a parry and then that ascending cut. It's going to be a very smooth action. Essentially, we are bringing the sword up and toward us, and then down and around, and then to the other side as we make that passing step. Landing in Ochs. Of course, make sure you perform this drill on both sides. All drills will be on both sides, as the drill itself can be mirrored. Alright, for the next step, we are going to start in Ochs. We are going to perform a Zwerchhau, which is just this horizontal cut above your head. The main point here is that as you make this passing step into the Zwerchhau, you are not landing in Ochs here, but the sword is going to be mostly parallel to the ground, as this is a cut, and we're going to hold this position at the end.
This is fucking exhausting. This thing's 3 pounds. I forget it's 3 pounds until I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's fucking heavy. Wow. What side am I even supposed to be on?
Alright, now from this Zwerchhau position, technically it's still Ochs, we're going to bring the sword down toward our body, essentially covering our opposite side, and then we are going to make a retreating step backward and cut. And again on the other side, and this will be the end of the drill. And if you've performed this correctly, you'll be able to bring the sword back into Plough and do the drill mirrored on the other side. Alright, and now that we have drilled our steps, let's take it all, put it together, and do it in one smooth fashion. It's going to take a little bit to make it nice and smooth. I do not have it smooth, even though I am this drill's creator, although I doubt this is original in any kind of capacity. But you can see here I slow a bit on this first performance because I think I messed up my ascending cut parry. And it ended up twisting up my feet in the wrong way. But here's the drill again from a distance, and then we will close out the video after this. So enjoy the drill in its full capacity, and I will see you on the other side. Alright, and that concludes this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.